What's up, guys? It's Wild. Today we are looking at a coaching session with one of my students, Ty. He's a Diamond KO main, currently playing in Plat. The map is Fracture. Hope you guys get a lot out of this one. Enjoy.
So when you go arcade, this is a really good thing with KO too on this map. If you throw the knife like over here, you basically clear like 90% of tower. Just very often people will just take the site and not really like clear tower if they don't have the info. Yeah. So if you get the actual info and you can say definitively there is somebody tower, it helps a lot. Okay, like these. Nice. Awesome. Perfect. Oh, okay. You gotta be really careful here though, because you haven't cleared the box yet, right? And like now your knife clears it, but you're already halfway grabbing the orb. So if I'm a guy behind this box, like pretend your knife was a Sova dart, right? What do you do when a Sova dart lands behind you that's gonna scan you and you're in a tuck position? You swing right before it pings, right?
Right.
So like you need to throw this knife, wait to see the info from the knife, and then decide if you're gonna grab the orb. Little stuff like that is how you avoid all these like silly deaths. So right here, okay, you should not be trying to go tower right now, and I'm gonna tell you why. You pretty much can assume there's nobody on the bomb site, right? There's nobody like past the Viper wall right now, right?
Yeah.
Do we agree? Because look at where your Reyna is, right? So there's one guy in tower. Okay, Reyna's pushing him from that side, your Viper's gonna push him from this side. Now, if these two players cannot trade out this one player, you guys are in what, a 2v5? And then you have to kill the tower player. Now, what happens when you're killing the tower player? What do all his teammates do? They all run through the Viper wall, and there's nobody to contest them. If we actually think about what leads to a round win, if these two guys both die, and then you have to be the one trading the killjoy, you only get one kill opportunity here, and then you're surrounded. We're going with like worst case scenario. They both die to this killjoy. Well, now you're going to be able to kill possibly two players who are running through this Viper wall trying to flood to like help their teammate, right? So you're much better off staying here to contest the Viper wall and hold this space rather than going up to trade with them. If we go with like the first scenario where you go up with them and you kill this killjoy and then you're stuck in tower and they're all surrounding you, you don't have like access to like force fights on these players. They can like choose like to fight you or not fight you or whatever. But if you kill a player running through this wall and then this killjoy's still in tower, like, you can force the fight on this guy. He's sandwiched between you and, like, the outside of the map. What's going to happen most of the time here is that, like, the killjoy is going to kill one player and get traded. This is a big mistake that happens a lot on Fracture, is, like, everybody goes into tower, and then nobody's holding the smokes, and then they flood through, and then you guys are, like, stuck 3 people on the bomb site, and you are just absolutely sandwiched. You never want to be sandwiched. That's the main thing.
Right. Okay, yeah, Viper got the
because like this guy just got to run through the Viper wall for free, and now he's on site killing your planter. Same thing with that guy, right? These guys ran through the wall with no utility, right? I know you have a classic, but like they're running through a Viper wall, they're decayed on a pistol round. It's like boom, two, 3 body shots, they're dead. So that is like a constant theme that happens on this map on executes, and like I will constantly just, since I know my teammates don't think this way, I will just almost always be the one to sit here and do this job. Because I know I'm the one who's much more aware of it. This is also something to consider, right? So at this point, they already had, you killed one guy on site. You killed 2 rotators, right? Because they came through the wall, right? Maybe one of those guys started like Jen or something, right? But one of those guys is likely to be a rotator. What do you think all his teammates on A did if they ran through spawn? When do you think they would be here?
Exactly when that when those 2 players were like on the site. They
probably come in. They probably be match timings with the Reyna, maybe a little bit behind if he rotated faster than them, right? So like we could give like maybe like a 5-second window. If there was another spawn rotator, they would have been here. Even if they were late, they would have been here by now, right? And so when you're not seeing any players or utility, right, that's a big tell as well, right? No utility. It's a harbor and a raise, right? You would expect to see a nade coming out. You would expect to see a harbor wall coming out. You expect to see a cascade, right? You're not seeing any of that, and it's been a long time since these kills happened, since this rotate happened. So this is the point. Honestly, earlier than this, but like, especially at this point, your spidey senses need to tingle and go, if they're not spawn, where do they have to be, right?
Okay.
And it's the B main flank and it's the arcade flank, right? Yeah. You won't know which one. In this case, it's both. But like at this point, you've already lost the round. Yeah, this is like very difficult to win.
Yeah,
Honestly, the cheat code for T-side on this map is 4-1 arcade. Yeah, you send 4 players arcade and 1 guy be main to like go slow. It just counters the way that people like to set up in pugs. So if you're ever in doubt for a T-side strat on Fracture, just say 4-1 arcade and just have like, if you have 2 duelists, like let your Reyna lurk. If you have a Sentinel, let them lurk be main. See right here, right? You should, yeah, perfect. I was gonna say. Nice, you take it. This is kind of like similar to the tower situation. You have 4 players that are about to run outdoor. So you should recognize here that I will probably not be the difference maker in this situation. Right? Sometimes you will, but it's like a low percentage of the time. That being the case, you should just look at these 4 people running outdoor and go, how can I use them to make a play that could put us in a position to win the round? And so that's exactly what you do, right? Whether intentional or not, right? I think you literally looked at the spacing like right here, and you're like, wait, this is about to feel really bad running through this choke. Let me go the other way.
Right.
It's fun. I don't love that knife. You need to move it more to the right so that it's actually clearing all of this area, because he actually does dodge it. And also you have to remember, when the knife lands higher up, the bubble on the map can be deceiving as to what it actually cleared, because it's like the sphere. But so this is like really, like, if we ignore that, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So even ignoring that, let's pretend you're gonna trust the knife, right? Like, if your knife clears all this space, you need to take the space quickly, right? You guys like let the knife pop, and then you guys are still like shift walking and like doing nothing, right? Like, if you clear the space, take it fast, because what's gonna happen is the knife's gonna pop. Some guy was gonna be on the outside of the knife, and then he's gonna be like, they think this area is clear. I am now going to walk into this area. If the knife clears the space, you need to get to a point where you can secure that space that you just cleared quickly before people have a chance to like redeposit themselves in the area.
Okay.
This is just whatever. 5v man. Yeah, this just like never really works out. The 4-1 arcade is like way better because of
especially on shit gun rounds.
Very nice. Okay, yeah, again, another situation, right, where it's just like 4 players in front of me doing something. Me being with them isn't going to make that much of a difference. Find a different way to be useful.
Okay.
Going to hold flank, fine.
Flashing over?
Yep, and they're all dead.
No! Yeah, I'm fucking tilted.
The tilt is because you're not getting the result you wanted, which is winning rounds. But like, you need to put the energy that goes into tilting. Obviously, you're not intentionally putting energy into tilting. I understand, but like,
yeah.
but like all that energy that you are spending tilting just needs to go towards like identifying problem, figuring out solution. Like, why are we losing specifically, and then what can we do about it?
The $1 million question for me.
Let's go round by round, right? So, why did you guys lose the pistol round? Let's start here. Was the round ever winnable, right? Did you get into a winnable position? So watch this round right now. I want you to analyze everything that's happening. Tell me when you want me to pause.
Okay. Slow clearing.
So we're fine right now, right?
Pause.
Like, this is how I want you to do it, right? I want you to like literally be like, it's okay, like, okay, we're okay. And then if something goes wrong, we pause and then we talk about it, okay?
Okay, pause. Reyna holds close, and she's a character that can get one and dip, so that was like a spot she could play that only Reyna really could. I feel like my teammates would have traded that had it been like anyone else. So
maybe
we get first blooded.
Alright, so we get first blooded, okay. Alright, so bad start to the round. Okay.
Bad start. Sage is walling. We take down KJ turret. We know she's probably close. We see her on the map. 4v1 probably on site.
So is the round winnable right now?
Yeah, if we kill KJ really fast, and if I do what you told me and I hold arcade / the Viper wall, I can tell them when they're pushing out and everything. Oh yeah, Reyna. Now that I'm staring at the map, as soon as I went up the rope, Reyna was already out of the wall.
Right.
Like at that exact timing. So I could have tapped her you know, hopefully kill her, but maybe she just goes back through the wall, which is just better for my team.
And you can even, with that part, you can even just keep it simpler and just be like, if they come through the wall, I can punish. All right, so is the round winnable?
It's less winnable.
3v4, but we have bombs left, right? So how is your team's positioning right now?
It's pretty ass. We can't see anything, and we don't know where anyone is.
Yeah, why is it ass specifically, right? Because you guys have no info on what's out, right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Recap pistol for me so far. So you guys got first blooded, right?
First blooded, we flooded 3 people towers, and because of that, we're just getting crunched now.
Right. So the tower guy killed one guy. You guys traded out, but now we're in bad positions, and they've had a chance to flood, and we're in an unfavorable 3v4, right? Okay. Now the round is really hard, but now that you guys have these duels, it is winnable because you guys can equalize right here, right?
Right. And we end up doing it.
All right. Winnable?
Winnable. 2v2, always winnable.
Very winnable. Okay, so you can literally, even in your analysis, you can always just like go from here, right? Because the round's always gonna shift from like heavy disadvantage to like even to like maybe advantage, right? It's always gonna be like flip-flopping as different things happen. It's hard to recall all the things that happened early in the round, but
yeah,
you do want to keep track of like what was like the last like winnable position we had, and like how did we misplay that, or did we misplay it? Like did we get outplayed? Like you need to assess, right? So right here, like I'm gonna say you misplayed, right? Because you guys are just not aware of these flanks when you really should be, for the reasons we talked about, right? So we had a very winnable position, but we misplayed because we were just not aware enough, I'll say. See what the issue was on our gun round.
I think it's partially my knife, because Raze nades us off, and then she sneaks up this right side, and my team isn't ready because my knife theoretically cleared a main, but it didn't. And then I get fucking shit on.
Right.
So my 2 teammates stack up and they die to a Spectre, which is kind of on me. I didn't clear the area. And then I get shit on by the flanker.
There's something really important you need to take away from this round. What do you think it is?
They're being really aggressive on the flanks.
Right. This flank timing is really fast, right? So
really fast.
So if this Reyna is not even walk peeking, like he is wide swinging this shit. If he is wide swinging this shit and he is here like 15 seconds into the round, 14 seconds into the round actually, how do you think the round looked from his perspective? I'm gonna say he peeked B main, held for like 2 or 3 seconds, didn't see anything, walked up, didn't see anything, and then just ran. The other thing you have to ask yourself is, what did he see something on the other side of the map? Like, was this in reaction to anything, right? You guys didn't really show a main. The only thing you guys showed was a knife, right?
Right.
So that means
pretty late.
Right. So that means this Reyna did not have like a prompt or a trigger for this push. This means that this Reyna literally just peeked, didn't see anything, and then sprinted the fucking flank, right?
With a Marshall.
With a Marshall, yeah. So like, so this may be something he only does when he has bad guns, because like the risk reward is like altered, right?
Right.
But this may just be how he plays and how he thinks, right? And would you say that this is abusable?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so how would you abuse something like this?
I mean, I could have just hid in a corner, hid by where the rope is at an off angle, or, you know, if I notice he's doing it, not just on save rounds, like I can tell my team to make noise in one location and just wait for him to rush.
Sure, yeah, great. Awesome. So like, this is the stuff you need to recognize in game. If I die to this Reyna, yeah, I'm tilted at his play and that he headshot me here, but like you cannot let your tilt stop you from recognizing the actual really important information you just gained right here. That's why it's like, okay, you can't even really be that tilted this early in the game, because it's like, so far what has actually happened? I know you're down 4-0, but actually only 2 of these rounds have been relevant. So those are the rounds you need to focus on why you're losing. Should not expect to win eco rounds, right? I'm sure we agree on that. Yeah, honestly, like, I just think that's the best knife to throw.
Yeah, it's faster, it clears the entire area.
This is really important too. This is an important decision point. All right, you suppressed 2 people. Where do we think like their likely locations are? Give me some configuration of this, and your knife sees through the door, right? So if somebody's close door, it can hit them. So like this, right? It's gonna be some configuration of this, or it might be like both over here. If they're holding like tight angles and they get Phoenix flashed, what do? They just immediately fall off the angle for a second, right? So like, that doesn't mean they're not close.
Right.
So what's gonna happen as soon as your suppress wears off? You guys are probably gonna throw some utility. So this molly's really good for that reason, for what we just talked about. Cool. Yes. You just need to be anticipating the utility that's gonna be coming at you here. And so it's like,
I knew I suppressed.
It's Raze and Reyna, right? So what's the most, what do you have to be worried about? Reyna flash, Raze nade, right?
Raze nade, yeah.
So like, you need to move through this area faster, because the longer you sit over here, the easier it is for them to use their utility effectively, right? People need information to use their utility effectively, right? Because they need to know where you're standing. Like you got information and now you're using your molly, right? Like if you didn't have that info, like it's a bigger risk for you to use this molly, right? Because you're like, you feel like you're gonna waste it, right? Same thing with them, right? So like once you guys flashed and you came out here, they have information that you guys are here, right? You sit in this pocket the whole time, it's just really easy for them to then just stack all their util over here. So after you clear this, like you need to move up and you need to make it so that they can't just toss all their util in the spot where they had info and get like maximum value out of it. Molly, clear. You saw the op at the corner, right? Run up, get to the door, right? You don't have to open the door. Literally just get to the door, because now you're in a much better spot to fight if they try to re-aggress. If you're here, when the Reyna flash comes through, just try to visualize, and when that Raze nade comes through, it's too far to the side of your head, and it's not even flashing you, and then you're just punishing, right? Because they're both using all of their utility as if you guys are still back here, right? They're not smart enough to like understand the way the timings evolve, and that you can be certain places already. Okay, so like, you really need to get into the habit of when the round starts, don't open your buy menu. Hold tab. Always just hold tab and look at everything.
Yeah.
Right? Worry about, like, you can figure out your buy while you're holding tab, right? Because you can just see how much money you have, and you can see how much money your teammates have, and then you can see, okay, do I need to request a drop, right? And then you can just go in and like request the drop, but then continue holding tab and look at the other team's money, look at the other team's ults, look at how close your teams are to the ults, right? There's information you need when you're like deciding how you're gonna play around, and I don't see you looking for it, right? You're not holding tab here. Like you haven't hit tab once in this buy phase. It's good. Always want to break the util while they're suppressed. Yucky. Yucky.
I don't know how to take tower with a flash. Do I just go up with a gun and just stop overcomplicating it?
There's no flash you can throw that is going to guaranteed blind anybody, right? That doesn't mean don't throw the flash, but the flash is almost just a tool to like displace their crosshair rather than to blind them, which is still very useful. So like just bounce the flash like off the wall and let it like obviously be bouncing off, like let it bounce off the right wall and bounce off the left wall, because the whole time that's happening they're not holding the rope, right? And then so you use the time the flash is bouncing and they're not really holding to go up the rope. Now when he has the molly set up, like you can't take tower from him, like
no,
right?
Exactly.
So
I would have had to kill him while he was suppressed.
Yeah, like they're turtled, like there's just not much you could do. All the more reason to, if they have a setup you can't easily break in tower, then hold the rotators, right? That's how you'll win the round. If they try to flood to help these guys, which is the way these turtle setups work, they rely on the rotators coming in to help them and save them, right? Or rely on people trying to force them out and like running into their utility. Then you can win the round, right? Because again, it's like we talked about, right? If you kill the rotators, now these guys are sandwiched between you and the outside of the map. They turtled, we got owned by the utility, like, okay. Like just make it easy on yourself, right? Try to generalize like in those kinds of terms.
So takeaways.
Yeah, let's summarize.
Something like that. Yeah.
Let's summarize. Okay, so we'll start with the easiest thing to do every time, which is hold tab. Start of rounds. Always look at both teams' money / ult status. Okay, so that's objective number 1, because that is the easiest fix, and many good things will happen from there. Second, I want you to treat the first 4 rounds of the game as like just gathering information. Mentally, as you play the first 4 rounds of the game, pay really close attention, not to the outcomes, but to what happens. Figure out how players are playing, what their timings are like, do they use utility, do they fight dry, how did we lose rounds, can my team trade, right? Like these kinds of things. Like I just want you to like gather information, especially while you're dead, right? I want you to spend the time when you're dead to think about what happened in the round before you died. And again, I really want you to just use like these bigger, broader ideas of like, we don't trade out. We get owned by their utility, right? Like use these like bigger ideas that can like generalize what's happening and make it easier to remember.
Right.
Oh, the other thing, wait, that reminds me actually. The other thing is be assertive when calming.
Oh yeah.
No asking for permission, no suggestions, just tell people.
Right.
Just-
it doesn't even have to
just
be the perfect IGL call every round, you know? I think that's where I get a little hesitant. I'm like, well, like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Ranked teammates, remember, your ranked teammates are sheep. They want to follow. They want to be herded. As always, guys, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, check out my Discord in the description. Join the server. All the info's there. Lesson plans, pricings, frequently asked questions. All that stuff is in there, so check it out. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Fuego out.